Now, fitting the end panels is exactly the same procedure as for fitting the front rail. We merely take the end rail, place it up against here. Now remember that this is 1 inch thick and this is 3/4 thick. So you place your two check marks on here, and X's on the surfaces to be drilled. Now we'll take dowel max and put it on the check mark to here, there, this check mark to here. And what we do is we miss number 1, it's too close to the edge. We drill through 2 and 3, move it along, make sure you've got the right end of the distance gauge. This is a small distance gauge. Make sure it's absolutely fair, level. Bring this along, touch it, tighten dowel max, and drill through 1 and 2. 2 and 3 here, 1 and 2 there. Or you can do whatever configuration you like. Then we do exactly the same thing in the distance gauge in the last hole. Make sure it's level, bring it along, tighten it up, and drill 1 and 2 again. Now, we take the rail, and of course this is 1 inch thick, so we've got to open it up a wee bit. Now there's your check mark, and the check mark here, so that goes on there like that, and the block comes up against this other check mark. Tighten it. Now you see where we're referencing from the same face, the top face here, so the top faces will be absolutely level. Now we'll do the same again. We miss 1, do 2 and 3, loosen this off, move it along, take the distance gauge, make sure it's the right one. In the second hole, bring it along here, bring dowel max up to that, again referencing from the top, drill through 1 and 2, and do the same thing again at the other end. Now I guarantee you're creating the strongest joint you can. This is our guarantee. This will never come adrift. I don't like to do one dowel in each section, I like to double up. And I have left this a little proud here intentionally so that we can trim it. There you are. Absolutely flush there. Almost no need for a sanding, and we've got our 3 1/8 plus here to incorporate the miter. And that's all there is to it. Now this is an MDF mock-up of the top panel. This represents the centre panel, this the end rail, and this the longitudinal front rail. Now we start off with the front rail, we align it with the centre panel. Now the rail is 3.5 inches thick, and we have a miter here. So you have to leave 3.5 inches on each end here to allow for the miter. Now I always give another 1/8 of an inch, so that's 3 5/8 each end. Now once you've aligned them and you've measured the 3 5/8, just put a small mark. This is where the guide block will align to. This is just to make sure that we finish up in the same position. Now after we've done that, place a device. Now we take a device, now the check mark is here, and there's our little mark that we've just done. So we bring the block here up to that little mark and tighten these screws. And then in this case we're going to drill 2 and 3. Just with actually I'm using 1.5 inch dowels here, but you'd probably be better with 2 inch dowels. You can go either way. Now we've measured, this is approximately 3.5 inches from the head to the, exactly 3.5. And we use it, put it in the last hole, last bore, make sure it's level and centered, then bring it along, firmly touch it here, tighten again, and this time we drill 1 and 2. Now we come along and we put it in the last hole again, make sure it's level, bring it up, and drill 1 and 2 again. Now, once we've done that, we take 6 dowels, make sure they're all a nice snug fit. With dowels, there's no room for error. You just now, once we've done that, we know the exact final position of this long board in the front. So we pencil in a very fine point on your pencil and just pencil in the junction now. Now that is going to be traced over the top here, and then we have our miter. So now what we do is we're going to drill in through here, now that we know the position of this. Now we take dowel max and we're going to align it. This is the top end here, so the reference block goes on the top. Align it to the end here. Tighten the clamp screws. And then we drill through 2 and 3. Now you must ensure when you're doing this, there's your diagonal for your miter. You must ensure, use this to go in here and then check that against here, because you want to go about 1 inch, 3/4 to 1 inch beyond this diagonal here. Now once that's done, we can remove this. And now we're going to start on the end. Now this is the end rail. And what we're going to do in this time is align to the back end here, because we can trim this when it's all finished. So we have 2 check marks in these 2 faces here, 2 check marks on these 2 edges, and then we begin drilling. So in this case we just follow exactly the same procedure we did the last time. The check mark was here, there for the reference bracket where the check mark was there. Drill 2 and 3, come along, install this in the last hole again, bring this up, drill 1 and 2, come down, do exactly the same thing and drill 1 and 2 again. Now as before, we install these 6 dowels, hardwood dowels. We do the same, exactly the same procedure using the distance gauge again with the center panel. Then join them. See how snug that is? Perfect. Now once again, we now know where the final mark is, or the final positioning between